All right, a big welcome to you, my awesome viewers and listeners from all over the world. Thank you for joining me on another great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Governor Soludo says fake degree holders are deceiving young people. Warns crackdown will follow November 8th governorship poll. Says a man who supports Tinubu with everything in him. You, Soludo, a so-called professor, looked away from all the glaring facts of Tinubu's certificate scandal, from the O-level he presented that carried the date of a school 10 years before the school was founded, to the diploma from Chicago State University that was signed by a non-existent staff. But now you want to crack down on people that are using fake certificates in their backyard. This is a disgrace. And I don't see how this country will survive if things continue like this after 2027. Deep down, corruption is eating up this country, but on the surface, we act as if it is not as bad as it is. Some even dare to utter atrocious words such as "we are making progress." This is not how a country should be, and the onus is on we the people to reject the status quo, because these politicians are never going to reject what they are benefiting 100% from. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that empty update coming out of the presidency, another empty rhetoric added to Tinubu's disgraceful collection. And next is another shocking update with which this administration has hit the Nigerian people. Tinubu has now told Nigerians the unthinkable. He has said to the people that subsidy removal, increased taxes, and all the numerous loans that he has taken are not enough. He said if Nigerians want development, they must pay another special tax out of their own pockets for that particular thing they want. And this has confused the entire nation. What kind of economics is this? Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video.
Yesterday was a culmination of a situation where the Nigerian police and thugs of the APC showed themselves to work hand in hand to disrupt and to create a one-party state.
You knew them to be thugs of the APC?
100%. And I'll tell you why. As our event was supposed to hold on Saturday, we had paid for a field, right, a space in Alimosho. We had announced it. We had gotten permission from the police command in that area. Then on Thursday, we got reports that the Commissioner of Police says our event cannot hold. Thursday night, all the LCDA chairmen, in the APC chairmen, in the company of over 80 policemen, a Black Maria, and several Hilux vehicles, we have videos there online, went and occupied that field. Right? Said that our event cannot happen. I should go and talk to the Commissioner of Police. That he said I should come and see him. I go to the Commissioner of Police. I call, he does not pick. I text, he does not respond. I wait there for 2 hours, and then I left, understanding that it was a decoy to get me off that field. Right? Now, on the Saturday, APC holds a rally on a field I paid for without any written explanation from the Commissioner of Police why I cannot have my event there. APC held its own rally on that field. We have videos. This is not hearsay. There are videos, they are online.
Which field was this?
Lion Field in Alimosho. APC held its event there. They cordoned off all the roads, and the police protected the APC.
You paid to the local
government? I paid to the people in charge, the CDA in charge of it, right? Okay. We accepted that. We made alternative plans, 4 alternative plans. Okay. Wow. We had a hall where we're going to do our affirmation, which we did successfully. And we had a field that our people were supposed to go to for our meeting, right? That was kept secret because we suspected this kind of thing were to happen, because there's no reason why the local government chairman in the company of so many policemen will go and harass the CDA that why should they rent out a field to us, that this event cannot happen here. Now, our people have successfully started going to the other field. right? The DPO of that area came and saw them, went in, asked questions, came out, made calls, and shortly after, a whole team of police came there, opened the gate, stood back, and then let the thugs in. Again, we have videos of all of this. So you see a situation where the police yesterday superintended attack of property, violence. My own sister was rushed to the hospital. My blood sister, the director of RV Foundation that was there to do our healthcare outreach, was rushed to the hospital and was stitched on her head. Wow. My aide had a concussion. He's bleeding from his ears.
Wow.
Right? The police were there and superintended the destruction of all these buses. In Nigeria, as hard as it is today, think about how much it's going to cost to repair all these buses.
I can see things that look like bullet holes. Were they shooting?
There was shooting in the venue. The police shot. But I cannot say that. I think those were stones that destroyed those buses. Those were stones.
Yeah.
But you see the level of destruction. Police supposed to protect
rented buses.
Rented buses. These were police supposed to protect lives and property.
Yeah.
Now, I'm telling you that this was happening while in Lionfield that I paid for, the APC was having a field day. No thugs, no weapon, nothing like this.
You heard that. Now the APC and Tinubu, with all these moves, are showing to us all that they do not intend to let go of the grip they have on this country. When some citizens see or hear of attacks on opposition politicians, they think it concerns only the politicians. They go say, nah, them, let them be doing themselves. No, it is actually an attack on the common man, because you will no longer have an option to change leadership. That is what they are trying to do. The country is sinking and you don't have an option to change leadership. So how can you say that that is only the business of opposition politicians? It is the business of every single Nigerian. The country is in trouble. The masses are in trouble. I wish every Nigerian knows the calamity that the APC is preparing for this country. If the APC gets away with all they are doing now and they continue in office after 2027, what we are seeing now will be child's play. Because by then, there will be nothing like contesting election again in Nigeria. In fact, no reasonable politician would consider contesting any election against the APC again in this country if the APC continues after 2027, because it will be clear that all the things that you can do to stop them, Nigerians are not ready to do. And that is what they are trying to do. That is what the APC is trying to achieve by openly destroying opposition parties. And just as I have been suggesting, opposition needs to step it up if they must defeat the APC. By now, there should be heavy opposition-sponsored protest. Opposition should have sponsored people calling for the transfer of election results from polling units to IREV. If opposition is holding a meeting, I expect them to be well prepared to repel attacks from APC thugs. If they have to use their own thugs, then so be it. If they don't go that route and they always come out to complain about what the APC did and did not do, I am telling you, the APC will stroll back to power in 2027 and this country will be completely doomed. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that empty rhetoric coming out of the presidency. Another one added to Tinubu's disgraceful collection of empty promises. And next is that big one, Tinubu telling Nigerians that the subsidy removal fund, several loans he has taken, and the increase of all forms of taxes are not enough to develop Nigeria. He said if Nigerians want to develop this country, they must pay special tax from their pockets for that particular item they want. And he demonstrated that by creating special tax for road construction in Nigeria. Let's start by taking that update on that empty rhetoric coming out of Aso Rock. Look at how the papers reported it. I'll just take the headline. It says, Tinubu advises graduates to seize opportunities in renewed hope agenda. What a joke. What is the opportunity you want graduates to seize in your renewed hope agenda? Is it the power supply that you have made stable for them? Is it the good road connections that you have created for them? Is it unemployment rate that the number is increasing every day that you call opportunities? Is it insecurity where their lives and properties are not even safe that is the opportunity you want them to explore? Or is it foreign investors that you have chased out of this country? Are these the opportunities that you want graduates in Nigeria to explore? Or opportunities in government offices that are now shared as slots to lawmakers and people working in Aso Rock? Is that what you want graduates in Nigeria to explore? I don't see anything that is captured in that useless agenda for any reasonable youth to say he wants to explore. What every young Nigerian must think towards now is how to get the APC out of power in 2027. That is, if your intention is to remain in Nigeria and make it, because with the APC in power, this country will never move forward. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update coming out of the presidency began making the rounds. Tinubu introduced 5% tax on petrol, and Nigerians cried out and said the hardship is too much. That tax has to go. But he has now come out to tell Nigerians that it is that 5% tax on petrol that they will use for road construction in Nigeria. There is no money from subsidy removal. There is no money from all the loans. There is no money from other increased taxes. It is that 5% tax on each liter of petrol purchased in Nigeria, which you and I will pay out of our pockets, that will now be used for road construction. Look at how the papers reported it. 5% fuel tax, good for Nigerians, will fund road infrastructure. Tinubu government. Bola Tinubu-led administration highlighted the benefits of a 5% tax on fuel for Nigerians, insisting it would not be abolished despite prevailing economic hardship in the country. In defense of the proposed tax, which will take effect when the finance minister deems it fit, Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, circulated some frequently asked questions about the tax and the Tinubu-led government's responses to the questions on Saturday. Question 4 of the frequently asked questions echoes the stance of some Nigerians who oppose the tax, citing the country's current economic hardship. It reads, why not abolish the charge given the current hardship and risk of higher inflation? In response, however, the Tinubu-led government said the surcharge is designed as a dedicated fund for road construction and maintenance. It added, if implemented effectively, it will provide safer travel conditions, reduce travel time and cost, and lower logistics cost and vehicle maintenance expenses, which will benefit the wider economy. First of all, this is absolutely wrong. Then he said, if implemented effectively, meaning there is still that large possibility that it will not be implemented effectively, that the money will be embezzled. And you and I know that our problem in this country has never been lack of funds. It has always been government officials embezzling money. So the subsidy removal funds have been embezzled by the governors, lawmakers, and Tinubu. All the loans have been embezzled. All the increased taxes in other facets have been embezzled. Now you and I have to pay 5% tax on every liter of petrol for us to construct roads within Nigeria. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Time says, so the removal of subsidies wasn't good enough. When the time comes, APC members will eat themselves. That is it. And Bolu Atife here says, fuel is already expensive and 5% will add more. Seems Tinubu's government just love hardship for the masses. And Anti-Rubbish here says, subsidy removal was supposed to fund infrastructure, but rather it funded more luxury lifestyles for them. Borrowed more than 4 administrations combined together. Yet here we are about another funding scam, abi extortion. That is it. Another funding scam. Even this one will still not be used for the roads. They will never have enough to steal. And this tweet by Ilias, who says Tinubu knows plenty of Nigerians are mumu and they will still fall for this usual scam. Tinubu is such an evil man. Ask him to account for the money gotten from subsidy removal. He would rather jet out of the country. It takes a senseless person to defend somebody like Tinubu. It is people like Daniel Bwala and the likes of Reno Mokri that are senseless enough to do that. And Adeyinka here says, so the money from crude oil sales and all the mined resources will be used for what? Abi, what exactly are our resources doing for us? If you tax us for every development that needs to happen to Nigeria as a country, this is the question. If you are going to tax us for every single development that needs to happen to Nigeria as a country, then how about the crude oil we are selling? What are we doing with that one? What are we doing with the crude oil sales? All the other minerals that are being explored. What is the government doing with the proceeds from all of them if we need to pay out of our pockets to develop this country? But I am not surprised. This is the APC. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And this is why I keep telling Nigerians, nothing will ever improve, let alone change, under the APC. If Nigerians are tired of this present situation, if Nigerians are tired of being treated as slaves in their own fatherland, then we must come together, keep our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because na because of una na I dey here. So don't go away, don't go. Sorry.